All right, so I want to start off with the box office of Superman, right? Again, this is not me complaining about if it's good or if it's bad. This is me pointing out the way that media likes to spin stories and stuff. I'm going to give you a little information. I'm going to give you a lot of numbers. I love this stuff. I know people look at this and what I'm about to do, and people are like, who cares? I just want to watch a movie. I just want to play a video game. I just want to watch a TV show. I like the box office numbers. It doesn't matter to me if someone says it's a 10 out of 10 or if it's a 0 out of 10. I look at it and go, you got to remember, the minority, right? The minority of the people that watch the stuff, and within that minority of the people that watch the thing, read the book, play the video game, there's a majority and a minority inside the people that watch the actual thing. And the majority right now is that, oh, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And the minority are people saying that it's not very good, but yet the numbers show differently, right? The numbers show differently because the majority is not the people that like it. The majority is the people that are not liking it. But, it might not come across. All right, so here's the box office numbers, right? As is. We got domestic opening of $125 million, and that sounds fantastic. We have 95 million international, which doesn't sound too fantastic. And then we have a worldwide number of 220 million. Everyone's like, well, that's doing pretty good. So now I'm going to read my script to you. As I get through my script, I'm going to interact with you guys, and I'm going to try something a little different on the show. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and today we're diving into the truth behind the numbers of a brand new Superman movie. On the surface, it looks like a win, but what if I told you those glowing headlines aren't telling the full story? Let me know in the chat, did you go see Superman yet? And if you did, what did you think of it? I know Water Bear saw it, and he really liked it and said, go for it. Like, go watch it. If you don't like it, he said he would send me money for my refund of the actual thing. He doesn't need to do that. But I respect a lot of you guys, right? I respect what you guys watch, and you tell me to watch things, I watch it, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? That is pretty good. I haven't seen it yet. So here's the deal. James Gunn Superman just opened at 122 million domestically and 217, which really is 225 after adjustment over the weekend. So the news sites are calling it record-breaking solo Superman opening. Sounds like a W for DC, right? Well, let's slow down a little bit, because when you peel back the layers, the oversee the box office is kind of a red flag. Only 95 million came from international markets, and this is way under expectations for the movie that cost somewhere between 200 and 220 million. To make that, it doesn't even include the marketing. And when I say underwhelming overseas, I mean it. China brought in 6.6 million. That's barely a blip on the radar. South Korea did 4.2 million. Japan, 2.5 million. And these are supposed to be some of the largest markets or major markets that are out there. So let's rewind the clock, all right? 2013, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel launched in Superman into the modern era. The film made 116 million domestically. Its opening, let me bring that up here, right? 116 million domestically, its opening weekend. So on paper, Gunn Superman beat it, right? Yeah, that's what the headlines are going to tell you. Like, you look at this and you're like, oh my God, 125 million. They beat it. But that's not it. Well, because in 2013, ticket prices were way lower. The average U.S. movie ticket cost about $8.13. Today is about $16.08. In major cities like New York, L.A., you're paying closer to $20+, and that's just the United States. There's other people outside the country that are paying higher prices as well for IMAX premium screens and just regular theaters. So fewer people are actually going to see Superman, but they're paying more per ticket. So this makes the box office look bigger than it really is. Okay? So again, if you look at this on the screen, Man of Steel, okay, opened up in 4,207 theaters. Superman opened up in just a little less, about 70 theaters less, 4,135 theaters. It made $125 million in its opening. But if you look at this number, this 56 million is not telling you the truth. Because in Man of Steel, if you notice here, if I take this Thursday number and combine it in with the Friday number, we're at 56 million. 56 million. Well, look at Superman at 56 million. So where is that extra money coming from? Well, they opened up earlier. For the Amazon Prime thing for influencers and all that other stuff. So it made about the same money. And we don't know the average ticket price there, but over here it's $10,000 for Friday. Over here it's $13,000. And it's about the same, $8,000, $8,000, $9,000, $7,000. So the average, brings it around. All right, so this is the numbers again for Superman. So let's get nerdy for a second, because this is where things get really interesting. If we adjust the numbers for inflation, Man of Steel's $116 million opening becomes $150 to $160 million today's dollars. And globally, it's made $668 million in total. So there's the Man of Steel. And total with $377 million overseas, which is actually, since this, is $379 million. This means Snyder's Superman back in 2013 had more international appeal and brought in more actual audience members than Gunn's version may have, a better Rotten Tomatoes score, but fewer butts are in the actual seats. Look, I'm not saying it's a flop in any way, shape, or form, but I'm also not saying it's a slam dunk that people are saying it is. They're selling you, that they're selling you in the press. And here's where things get a little dicey for Hollywood in general. Movie theaters in 2025, they're in trouble, right? You guys know I love movie theaters. I love going to the theater. But they're in trouble. Reports say that most theaters are running at 11% occupancy. If you guys don't understand what that means, for every 100 seats, there's 11 people. That means out of 100 seats, there's only 11 people filling on the average, right? So you might go to a theater that might be filled, but then the other 6 showings throughout the day might have 10, might have 15, might have 2. Less people are going to the movies, period. They're watching on streaming things, high prices, convenience. It's all taking a toll on Hollywood. So again, when a studio waves around a big opening weekend number and asks yourself, is this a genuine success? Now, I know a lot of people are looking at this going, does it really matter? I just want to go see a movie. Cool. Go watch a movie. But don't start preaching to people, well, it's the greatest movie since sliced bread, when people are looking at it going, well, it's probably not going to make money. Right? It's inflated by the fewer people paying more. Less people are watching the movie in the theater, but they're paying $20 to go watch this thing. Okay. So I have a question for you, chat. Do you guys go to the theaters regularly anymore? Or are you more of waiting it for coming on a streaming service? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comment section down below. Contrary to what James Gunn's posts on social media were implemented, reports had no way of knowing that Superman's Legacy cost, and that's what it was originally called, Superman Legacy. WB itself has publicly disclosed that it was spending $363 million on the film. James Gunn said out, there's no way they would know that. We'll get that in a second. That's $363 million. That figure comes straight from the public film incentive filings, not anonymous sources, not speculation. These are legally disclosed as the number through state film commissions. After tax breaks, the net or real spend drops to somewhere around 270 to 280 million, right? So a tax incentive, when we used to film in Florida, you get tax incentives. So the budget could have been 100 million, but you get 10 million off. So obviously now it's only 90 million to the production, but it still cost, right? Money just doesn't disappear. This is what it cost. They get a tax incentive break and stuff, and then there's marketing on top of that. But there's still a massive investment, way higher than Gunn suggests in his online pushback. Okay, so when James Gunn says there's no way journalists could know this, well, that's not true. It's public data. Okay, and the fact that he's trying to downplay it makes it you wonder why. Why is he trying to downplay it? Right? It's about managing expectations. When he came out and said, it's no big deal, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's about preventing backlash if the box office doesn't measure up to that huge spend. Either way, it's a bold move to call journalists when the receipts are sitting in plain sight. And again, they're going to tell you, we don't need to make that much money. We don't need where did you get that number from? From public data, from actual film commission. So what does this mean for Warner Brothers? Does it need Superman to gross 700 to 800 million to break even like some sites are saying? No. The real threshold, because of the tax incentives, because of the marketing, somewhere, I would say, between 500 and 600 million to start turning profit. But here's the twist. Even if Superman clears the mark And it's not necessarily a hit by 2025 standards because, again, it's launching in a new universe. This wasn't supposed to be profitable. It was supposed to be a statement. This is James Gunn's first movie in the new DC universe. So it can't just come out and limp over the line and be like, yeah, no, it was supposed to make a statement. It was supposed to be like, oh, man, I'm looking forward to the rest. Now, obviously, the fans are excited about it. The fans, the people that are actually excited, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, best movie ever, right? They're like, I can't wait for this to come out for the next stuff. Supergirl's next or whatever. So let's talk about something that you may have missed unless you were watching the trades closely. It's the box office projections kept shifting. So a few months back, earlier tracking suggested Superman Legacy could open to 140 to 160 million domestically. That was the initial bar set. But then the release got closer, and maybe the buzz wasn't as strong as they hoped. We heard the screenings weren't good. There was reshoots. They didn't like certain things. There was an article talking about they didn't like about kicking the dog and being mean or whatever. But then the buzz is stronger. Hope suddenly projections dropped from the 140 to 160 to 110 to 120. And eventually it even went down to 90 to 110 million just a week before release. Then it pulled up with 122 million domestically, and all headlines were like, massive success, outperforms expectations. But let's be honest. They're celebrating beating the lowest revised number and not the original expectations. Remember, they said 160 million it was going to make it. There was actually projections even higher than 160 million. They lowered it to 90. Now they hit 122 and they're like, blew away expectations. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. This is a classic goalpost shifting. Quietly lower estimates until within the reach and then pretend it's a big win than it really was. It's marketing. It's narrative control. It's not transparent. Again, you don't have to take but most people just spoon-fed themselves. They're like, yeah, well, they said it's a good movie, so it's a good movie. And again, I haven't seen it. I can't tell you if it's good. I can't tell you if it's bad. But I can tell you about the numbers that they're telling you are bullshit. As far as, well, it's the greatest thing ever. Have you noticed that the trend before Marvel or other big movies, I've seen this all happen, right? Biggest movie, and then, right, remember, Shang-Chi was amazing with a $74 million opening weekend. It was huge. And then it barely crossed the finish line. So now here's the part that nobody in Access Media wants to talk about. The whole weekend, we've been flooded with copy-paste headlines from legacy outlets, Polygon, Collider, THR, you name it. All of them parroting the same line. Biggest Superman opening ever. No context, no nonsense, just cheerleading. Okay? Why? Because a lot of the outlets rely on studio access, earlier screener interviews, exclusive set visits. If they rock the boat, then they lose the perks. This is Access Media. And let's talk about the X, formerly known as Twitter. Have you noticed the same canned tweet going over and over viral? James Gunn saves Superman, best comic book movie since Endgame, overly enthusiastic, all within 10 minutes of each other, often with zero engagement on other, zero posts, zero relikes, zero retweets, nothing. That's bot behavior. It's not organic. Studios have been caught buying engagement to control the narrative before, and this isn't new. But if we're getting hard to spot in all the AI-generated stuff, people just can't tell. So, chat, have you seen those Superman stands with 2 followers and 3,000 likes on their post? It's a bit of a red flag, don't you think? So now let's talk about the spin. Because let's be honest, Warner Brothers needs this movie to look like a hit. Not be a hit, look like a hit. Fake it till you make it, basically. This isn't just another superhero movie. This is James Gunn, big kickoff to a brand new DC universe. So yeah, they're going to highlight that 122 million that they're going to pump out press releases on high critic scores and audience ratings, but they're not going to tell you that less people actually saw this than The Man of Steel. That overseas performance is pathetic. It's soft as of right now. And the rising ticket prices are doing the heavy lifting. So here's where things get really interesting, because if you did go see the chances are that you either loved it or hate it. Very little in between. I mean, a little short going, people just hate it, they love it, whatever. Some fans are calling it the best Superman since Reeves, praising the tone and the casting and the optimism, and they say James Gunn nailed it. Others think another shallow reboot Some say Superman feels like James Gunn than Clark Kent. And a lot of longtime DC fans feel disconnected. This polarization is happening across YouTube, Reddit, X. You see 10 out of 10 reviews, and then next to 2 out of 10 reviews. That's not a sign of united fan base. That's a sign of division. And let's be honest. If a movie was really firing on all cylinders, and you see more consistency between us, right? You see more of a consensus that it's amazing, okay? So let me know. Thumbs up or thumbs down in chat. Did you like the movie if you saw it? And was this your Superman? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the live chat. Let me know in the comment section. So what's the takeaway here? Yes, it made money. But international numbers are weak. The ticket prices are hiding true attendance. The online conversations being heavily manipulated. Even fan reactions are split. And this is supposed to be a launch of a brand new DC universe. You hope that more unified win out of the gate, which is just not happening. Okay. So what does this all tell us? It tells us that numbers can lie, or at least mislead. As Superman did well, but don't be fooled by the headlines. We have to look deeper into the trends. Declined theater attendance, ballooning ticket prices, and international distress, or disinterest, I should say. Okay, this isn't about bashing the movie. It's about the honest about the industry. And so, if you like the breakdown, drop your thoughts in the comments, hit the like button, and sub if you like the real conversation about gaming, entertainment, and anything in the industry behind it. Okay, we go live Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern on the Daily Grind. Big shout out to you guys for always coming out, hanging out with us, being part of the conversation. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.